Let's do it again. All right, here we go. Truthfully, I think today is going to be a little bit of a cringy show. It's a little bit of a cringy show. And I say that to you guys because I don't know how to avoid talking about these things. I don't want to avoid talking about these things, but they are nuanced and icky. And a lot of the topics today are just very fucking cringeworthy. I'm going to be talking about a lot of Jewish stuff today. As most of you guys know, I am a Jew. Pretty much all of you guys know that. And I want to specifically talk about this Whoopi Goldberg situation because there's a lot of other stuff that's gone down with the Jews in the last 48 hours. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, Whoopi on The View this morning said that the Holocaust was not about race. And I am a massive fan of Whoopi Goldberg, have been forever since I was a little kid. I've loved Whoopi. And it sucks because Whoopi continuously through the years has done some very cringy things to the Jews. And a lot of us just kind of like turn a blind eye because we love Whoopi and we don't want to not love Whoopi. And she's done a lot of great things. And I agree with her on a lot of things in life. But what she does with the Jews continuously is like so fucking cringeworthy. And I'm going to talk about that today. Plus, I also watched the first episode of We Need to Talk About Cosby, which is the Showtime docuseries about Bill Cosby, featuring a ton of different celebrities, comedians, people who were on shows with him, stunt doubles, people he gave their start to, people who were assaulted by him, people running the whole gambit. And so we will talk about that. And because I needed to do one thing that wasn't super cringeworthy, I watched The Woman in the House Across the Street from The Girl in the Window, which is that new Netflix binge. And I can talk a little bit about that. So let's get into it. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Let's talk about the Whoopi of it all. So I need to give you guys a little backstory because it actually came up a few months ago. I think I was talking to Steph and she was talking about how much she loves Whoopi. And I was like, me too, but she definitely tends to step in it with the Jews. And Steph was like, what are you talking about? And anytime it's come up with anybody, especially anybody who's not Jewish, people don't know what I'm talking about. And this happens with a lot of different celebrities, actually. Gary Oldman, who more specifically said something very hateful to the Jews, but Whoopi has a very strange history with Jewish people and with claiming that she is Jewish. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, for years, Whoopi has said she is Jewish. I never know tonally whether she thinks she's making a joke or what, but it doesn't seem that way. And for years and years, for decades, Whoopi Goldberg, who chose the last name Goldberg, which is a Jewish last name, has claimed to be Jewish. She did not convert. They did a ancestry thing on her, and she is not Jewish by ethnicity. But she continues to claim that she is Jewish. And it's a very strange thing because you can't just claim you're an ethnicity that you're not. And you would think that the person on the people on the planet that would know that the most are Black people. And Whoopi usually says such socially responsible, brilliant things that it's been bizarre. I've always found this to be like, huh? This is what she said speaking at a charity event in London in 2016. She said, I just know I am Jewish. I practice nothing. I don't go to temple, but I do remember the holidays. Religion's a lot of work. It's exhausting. So I keep it simple. I have a pretty good relationship with God. We talk. So you can convert to being religiously Jewish, but she hasn't converted. And So I don't know. And then she's talked about how a lot of times people would ask her because of her last name if she is Jewish. And she said, this is a quote she said, people would ask me in a roundabout way, so are you? And I would say, what? And they'd say, what does your name mean? And I would say, do you mean Whoopi? And they'd say, no, the other name. And then they would say, come on, are you Jewish? And I would always say, would you ask me that if I was white? I bet not. The name is wonderful for starting conversations. And she is right that a lot of my friends that are Black and Jewish, they get questioned in a way that my white friends who are Jewish don't. And a lot of people are just in the same way you can be two different ethnicities. A lot of people are not white and they're Jewish. So that's an annoying thing that happens to my Black Jewish friends too. I don't know many Asian Jews, but I do know about two as my Indian Jewish friends say, Hin Jews, to all the people that aren't white and Jewish. They do get questioned, and that sucks. But Whoopi is not Jewish, so it's I don't know. I don't know why or where this is coming from, and she continues to talk about it, and has throughout the years multiple times referred to herself as Jewish. And there was a story once that I read that her mom suggested that her original surname was not Jewish enough for her daughter to become a star in Hollywood, and that was part of the transition. I don't know whether that's true or false. I don't know. We don't know. And I like Whoopi a lot. So if she's like out here rooting for the Jews and repping the Jews, on the one hand, you kind of feel flattered by that. Like, oh, she's saying she, like, if she feels like she is Jewish, she can't hate us. But on the other hand, it's just like false. It's not how it works. My 23andMe would show that I'm 100% Ashkenazi because it's my ethnicity. So you can't really do that. Yeah, she's said bizarro things about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict as well, that I feel like she's really stepped in it. And she's just, at one point I remember her saying something about like being as, it was something like, I'm as Jewish as I am Black, or something along those lines. I need to find the exact quote, but it was really, it's just bizarre that this has been what she's been saying. And then today she was on The View, and she said that the Holocaust is not about race, which no Jew would ever say, because point blank, that's what the Holocaust was about. And I saw a lot of tweets that said, Whoopi, this is so unfair. You wouldn't say that slavery is not about race. You can't say the Holocaust is not about race. And while I'm not into playing this comparison game, and I don't think that that's there's not an exact correlation there, I think it's really fucked up to say out loud to think the Holocaust is not about race. I'll play you guys the clip so you don't have to take my word for it. And we can discuss from there, and also talk about some of the really anti-Semitic things that have taken place in the last couple of days, and how dangerous rhetoric like this can be, because it causes people to reinvent and reconstruct what the Holocaust was, which is horrifying. So here we go from The View.
Well, also, if you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. No. It's not about race. It's about
a different race.
But it's
So Joy chimes in and says, well, they consider Jews to be a different race. And Whoopi continues,
not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy.
It's not about
race.
But these are two white groups of people.
Well, how do we have to black people see them as white men?
So she's saying it can't be about race because these are two white groups of people. And this is exactly what I was talking about the other day to you guys, is that, or what I was talking about on my Twitter last night. There was, in Orlando, Florida, there is a bunch of people. They can only be described as the Nazi Party because they are hailing Hitler, and they are standing there and saying that, and they're screaming white power and to kill the Jews, and that the Jews should have got knocked off the planet, and 6 million wasn't enough. And they are over and over again saying white power. And number one, not all Jews are white. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But if Whoopi's going to claim to be Jewish, then she certainly should know that. But even though she's not Jewish. She's not Jewish. Ethnically speaking, she's not Jewish. And then number two, if people who believe in white power don't believe that Jews are white, then how is this not about race when this is because they're being attacked? The Holocaust didn't happen because Jews don't believe in the New Testament. The Holocaust took place because Jews as an ethnicity were targeted and the attempt was to exterminate them based on their blood, based on their ethnicity. So the Holocaust was about really one thing, and it was race and white supremacy. We could continue with this clip. It's very cringeworthy.
But you're missing the point. You're missing the point. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how.
So she's saying if you turn it into race, which is incredibly offensive, because turn it into race. That's what the whole, like, now it feels very gaslighty. Like you're saying that the Jews are turning it into being about race when it's not, which that's fucking crazy. And how many times have my Black friends have been gaslit because somebody says, well, is it really because you're Black, or do they just not, whatever it is? Like, is it really because you're Jewish? Yes, it really was because we're Jewish.
People treat each other. It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're Black or white, because Black, white, Jews, everybody eats each other. So is it, if you're uncomfortable, if you hear about mouse, should you be worried? Should your child say, oh my God, I wonder if that's me?
So now they're playing the music and they got to get off. Just, ugh. I also posted yesterday or today, I guess, I woke up this morning and posted about this because I've decided that, like, you guys aren't seeing anything. So I'm just taking it upon myself to start posting a ton of fucking Jewish stuff. And I know that's a little annoying. And I know that mostly I'm tweeting out fucking things about TV shows that I like, or little funny bits about, like, whatever. But when we've got yesterday in Orlando, a group of dozens of people who are white supremacists who are saying white power and kill the Jews. And last week in London, we've got an attack on these two men in yarmulkes who are just standing there minding their own business. And a man comes up to them and just starts beating the crap out of them and punching them in their faces. And then the previous week we had in Texas the hostage situation at the synagogues. And you know, this is like, those are three that I'm rattling off the top of my head, but there are so fucking many more. And then we've got people like Whoopi, who has a huge platform, who people love and respect and trust, including myself. And she's out here claiming that she is Jewish, which I don't understand how you could just make that claim. Because if I claim to be any other ethnicity than I am, I would be so fucked. But she's claiming she's Jewish, and then she's also saying that the Holocaust was not about race. And if she wanted to say the Holocaust was about race, but it was about so many other things too, like man on man, whatever, fine. But just to deny that, to gaslight the Jews and claim this wasn't because you were Jewish. The fuck? The actual fuck? And that just doesn't make any fucking sense. So it's challenging because like I said, I love Whoopi. I'm sure you guys love Whoopi too. And most of the times, if I'm watching The View or when I'm watching her movies or whatever, I'm like, fucking get him, Whoopi. You got this. And then every couple of years, she'll say something in regards to the Jews that I'm like, what? What? And yes, she said she didn't convert Jimmy Nails. Religiously, you can convert to being Jewish, but you can't ethnically convert to being Jewish. It's an ethno-religion. So if somebody says, are you Christian? Are you Jewish? You could say, if you converted, which is a process that you have to go through that she didn't, you could say you are religiously a Jew. But you can't claim that your ethnicity is Jewish. You're born with that. It's in your blood. And so it just is super ignorant. And again, to claim the Holocaust is not about race, it's very dangerous because we have people out there saying that the Holocaust didn't even happen. And then you've got smart people, educated people like Whoopi saying, okay, it did happen, but it wasn't about race. And we're losing the people who were alive during the Holocaust. They're in 15 years from now, there are going to be none of them left. And so it's just fucking scary. Yeah, and as Jason says in here, Mein Kampf, Hitler mentioned his admiration for the racist policies of the United States. Yes, he did, specifically referencing slavery over and over again. And the Holocaust was about eliminating those that he deemed inferior, including the non-Aryan races. And it is true that more than just Jews died in the Holocaust. That is true. It was about people who were not of the Aryan race, but no group was hit as hard as the Jews. No group. And that is absolutely what it was about. So between the Orlando thing of people just fucking heiling Hitler on the street as cars are driving by, and the two men who are just getting the shit kicked out of them for standing, and Whoopi saying this, that's in a 24-hour news cycle. It's just alarming. And people out here are still saying, and this isn't to say there aren't nuances here, because I acknowledge this all the time and I'll continue to acknowledge this, but a lot of Jews are either white or white passing. A lot of Jews. And that does give us a privilege that people who are not white or white passing don't have. In the same way that if you tell your gay friends that if they stay in the closet, that they can't get persecuted against, when you tell your Jewish friends, but if you don't say that you're Jewish, you'll be fine. First of all, that's not even true, because most of the people who were taken to concentration camps claimed that they were not Jewish to try to fucking save their lives. But they found out and they knew. And second of all, if it's who you are, if you have to hide it in order to stay alive, that privilege does not go very far. And so while I do feel privileged to be able to walk down the street and have a layer of protection, it's just a layer. Let's go into the super chat and the Streamlabs. Let's see what's going on here. Bear Hudson, haven't seen you in a minute, says, I think shows like Joe Rogan or podcasts with that type of mindset is a problem today. We have to stop giving shows like Joe Rogan or any show airtime. I don't know what you mean by or any show. And tell me how that's relevant to this. What did Joe Rogan say about this? I don't know what exactly you're talking about. So let me know. In the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Let's see what's going on here. Yesterday, Lloyd Nan says, hi, Roxy. Hi, Lloyd. Obsessed with you. Glenn Caesar said, hello. Good Monday, Roxy. He's sending well wishes to me and my fam. Thank you. He is asking how I'm doing, and the answer is, I'm still doing okay. But, I woke up this morning. I won't lie to you guys. I was watching that footage of the two men getting the shit kicked out of them. Oh, no. Is this the DMV? I've been waiting for my registration. Hold on. Let's see. Hello? Yeah, it is. Maybe I can ask them to call me back. Hi. Is there? I'm currently in the middle of something. Is there any way you guys can call me back in 20 minutes? Oh, okay. Yeah, because I had called, but you guys had said the callback was going to be at 1:15, so I was prepared for that. No worries. I maybe you could help me quickly. My registration sticker, I ordered it and it never arrived. Oh, I can't say that because I'm on air. I'll call back. Thank you. Can't dox myself like that. Fuck. I really wanted to be able to deal with that. Oh, I had to wait on hold for so long, and then finally when they called me back, it's so annoying. Okay. Well, doing it for the Jews because I've got to talk about this instead. Okay, going back into the Streamlabs. Ryan Payne says just mute the mic. It's too late, Ryan. It's too late. It's too late. I think it probably would have taken a long time. Probably would have taken like 15 minutes. All right. Glenn, how am I? Frustrated. I was crying watching the video this morning, but I'm doing okay. He also said that he had meditation where he drifted out. That's cool. Sitting on an iron spike. That's the feeling that you had. And then I felt pulsing energies. Well, interesting. Maybe it was an old trapped memory. Wow. The brick burst and my feet got warmer. Sometimes you describe things that I can't imagine the sensation of. The warmth, pulsing energy spread throughout the rest of my body. It was like flying like an eagle. That's so cool. Until I blacked out and now I can more fully feel the bottom of my feet. Hell yeah. I love that. And easier. Not feeling taller, no scoliosis. That's so great. Thank you, Glenn, for this and this big support here. He says, I hope you continue breathing in the golden sparkles. Breathe in love and blow out stress and yucky energy. Each inhale and exhale to break apart and remove all types of energetic blockages so you get to attain balance, happiness, and joy every day. Thanks so much, Glenn. Appreciate you and your kind words. Anybody else who wants to send support, streamlabs.com/Roxy super chat in. Speaking of sending support, my dude, Ben Goddard, no way. Number one Jew fan here, just checking in. Love you. Thanks. Yeah, it's been a really fucking, it was like 3 boom, boom, booms in a row. And it's just bizarre that and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but you guys usually tell me that this is the case. I feel like people just like don't acknowledge it. Like we see when there's attacks on other groups of people, and rightfully so, the internet is like, we're not gonna fucking stand for this. And then when it's attacks on Jews, I like don't see any of my friends tweeting about it. And it's not because they wouldn't be outraged, but it's because they have no idea. They have no idea that people are getting beat up in London or that in Orlando there's fucking Nazis standing on the side of the road and that Whoopi is saying the Holocaust wasn't about race. Like it's just not usually mainstream. The View one's more mainstream, but I appreciate that and thank you for your support. You rock, Ben, and much love to you. Oh boy. Now I'm gonna have to deal with the DMV again. Just gonna have to deal with the fucking DMV. Here's another thing that I think is gonna be cringy to talk about, but I'm going to. We need to talk about Cosby. That's the name of the doc on Showtime. I think it's 4 parts. I've watched 1.5 of those parts so far. I was gonna binge off all of it, but it's a lot to watch, and I was not ready to binge all of it. Speaking of, and this is nowhere in the Whoopi camp, because Whoopi I still think is a good person and just tends to step in it. Cosby, we have decided, is in a class of his own, but it's in a way, though, the similarity being that it's really uncomfortable to talk about people that you have idolized in the past that have done things that make you not idolize them anymore. And with Bill Cosby in this doc, it's really challenging because we're listening to dozens of people talk about the incredible things he did, which are all true, such as being on I Spy or convincing the production to give him a black stunt double instead of a white stunt double who's painted black, and he really evolutionized the TV landscape and was the first Black man on TV to be on 3 different TV shows at once. And what he has done for the Black community, for so many children, for people who weren't Black growing up, who just thought that he was so funny, and he was funny in a way that he wasn't swearing, but he was still talking about serious things, but he made you laugh. And he was a legend. He is a legend. And then everything that came out. And in the first episode, we're gearing up with all of the positive things he kind of did. And then we're hit with the testimonies of woman after woman after woman that he assaulted. And a lot of the stories are the same, and you're hearing their voices. And then we go through some of his comedy where he, for years and years, talked about drugging people and whatever that fly thing is bit that he kept doing, and how some pills make you loopy and some make you awake. And both things are true at once. Both things are true. He got a lot of people jobs. He did such incredible things for the Black community in the landscape of entertainment, and therefore in the world. He was a pioneer in his space, and he was hysterical. But he was also a mass rapist. And hearing those two things, it's like, you don't want to give this man any flowers. But those things are still true. And so this Spanish fly, thank you, Jarm. It's just, I'm having a hard time. They're doing an excellent job with this doc. And I agree that we need to talk about Cosby. Well, I don't necessarily agree that we need to talk about him all the time, but I do think as a society, we haven't really figured out how to talk about these people. And by these people, I mean the Harvey Weinsteins of the world, the Bill Cosbys of the world, the Kevin Spaceys of the world. Bill Cosby being the most difficult one to talk about because he did the most good, but also did so much evil. And I don't think those things even close to outweigh each other. The evil is so much worse, but the good does exist and was huge. So yeah, the doc is interesting. Who's watching it? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in the chat, right? Are you guys watching it? Are you intending on watching? We need to talk about Cosby. I haven't gotten to the Janet doc yet. I hear a lot of people are disappointed that you don't get to really know the real Janet. But that's the next doc on my list, but I'm going to first make it through the Cosby doc. And I think it's going to take me a minute to make it through, because it's definitely, it's heavy. Alexander Wilson in the streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, I saw the Whoopi clip, and I think she was trying to say that whether it's race, religion, or anything else, it's man's cruelty and inhumanity. What she said was very clumsy and kind of ignorant, because there were many races that were affected. I think that if your initial instinct is to protect what she said, then you might need to check yourself a little bit, Alexander Wilson, because the first thing you said is, I think what she was trying to say is, and the first thing to say is that the Holocaust is about race. That is what it's about. And it's not ours to say what she was trying to say, but I am with you in attempting to give people the benefit of the doubt. And Whoopi is able to come out and say, it is about race. I misspoke. And while it is about race, I also think important things to look at are man's cruelty and inhumanity in general. But she can't say that and have us be like, oh, well, what she's trying to say, does that make sense? Because it doesn't. It doesn't. Those are my thoughts on it. Thank you, Jake, my amazing mod, for putting in the link to the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. All right. So we are going to be getting out of here relatively soon, even though I already missed my fucking DMV call. So sad about that. I'm going to figure out a different time to call them back. Those bastards. So I ordered my registration. And I ordered it over a month ago. And my sticker never came. I've never had that happen before. I don't know whether somebody jacked it because seemingly that's happening a lot recently, or whether there's a delay in the mail system. And they're saying that online it says that it can take up to 8 weeks. But now I'm just driving around with no sticker, which I'm definitely going to get fucking pulled over for. But I ordered it and paid for it. I even paid a late penalty because I was 1 day late because I thought it went until the end of the year, and it actually went until the 20th. And when I had COVID, I just went to go pay it on the 21st, and it already charged me an extra fucking $50. They're crooks. They're a bunch of fucking crooks. So yeah, I binged last night The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. For those of you guys don't know, it's a Kristen Bell show. It's a murder mystery. It's very campy. It's kind of, nope, Whoopi, we're done with you right now. It's kind of funny, but it's also dark and twisted. I liked it. I really liked it. I thought they did a really good job with it. And I think that Kristen Bell is excellent. There's a lot of great performers in it. It's 22-minute episodes. It's 8 episodes only. So I flew the fuck through this. And Silu, yeah, they emailed me that I did pay it. But if you don't have the sticker on the car, you can still get a ticket. Because if you're parked on the street, they don't know that. I'm all over the place today, guys. Forgive me. The show's good. Just wanted to recommend it to you guys. If you liked Only Murders in the Building, this is not as good as that, but it's still pretty good and in a similar tone, I feel like. Let's go back into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. See what you guys have to say. In the Streamlabs, Jimmy Nails says, if I had a nickel for every time that I had to explain that Jewish is both a race and a religion, this would be a lot more money. Love you, Rox. I know. I know. And it's when people don't understand it, I always go back to the 23andMe example because, like, you can see based on somebody's DNA if they are Jewish. That's how you know. Ash says, I think that she was trying to say, is Holocaust wasn't about race. I think what she was trying to say is the Holocaust wasn't about race. Okay, that's funny. She succeeded in saying that. And it's quite the insane thing to say or believe. Thank you, Ash. I agree. I saw that. And I was like, oh, no, not Ash. Ash, don't do it to me. Yes, I agree with you. Glenn Caesar says, thank you, Roxy and Rockstars, everyone who's choosing battle, everyone who's battling for choosing to. Thank you for being a support for the people around you. However you can light a candle. Doing so, even when it's tough, makes you a winner. Winner chicken dinner. I hope you remember to say to yourself, I'm kind, I'm caring, I'm fully unique, I'm good people. I'm worthy, my story is important, deserves to be seen and heard. Being kind, caring, and fully unique makes you humane, worthy, and a cozy fire to be near. Thanks, Roxy and the Rockstars, for doing your best to shine and glow and radiate in each of your days, your weeks, your months, and even your years. You've been there for me when the rain starts to fall. Thank you for being you always and in all ways. # be an anomaly. I hope you live in serenity and actually get to see and feel and perceive the yellow and green colored energies and sparkles of happiness and joy manifesting in your day-to-day life today, tomorrow, and beyond. You're good people and inspiration, priceless treasure. Thanks, Glenn. Sir Joker 40 back. Thanks, Sir Joker. He says, just dropping in. Love, love, love you. Roses are red, violets are blue. You're wicked awesome. Cheers to you. So many days apart. You are missed. Joker Bunny Gang. Love you, little sis. # BFFR. # be an anomaly. Sir Joker, I've been asking about you and where you are. You're missed. You're loved. You're appreciated. Thanks for being here. Alexander Wilson in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer said the Holocaust was about race. I know that. My grandfather was an officer in the army during World War II and assisted in liberating concentration camps. My grandfather fought in World War II as a Jew as well. And I'm glad to hear you say that. I think that what you take for granted, Alexander, and I do too, is that everybody knows that. And clearly not everybody does know that. So when it sounds obvious to a lot of people, it's not, including Whoopi. And so that's why we have to state what we believe is obvious when we think that that is just like, it's so blatant, but to others, it's not. Glenn Caesar says, well, I'll end this. Roxy, you the fucking best. You the fucking best. Thank you for using your platform to help raise awareness of the world's wrongs and being there for us. See you on Patreon. Yeah, so today I am doing a Patreon exclusive video, which is going to be on podcast in several weeks or months. And today I am opening up about being alone in a pandemic. I know that you guys lived through a lot of that with me, but I'm going to kind of talk about it in a way that you haven't heard before. And I'm nervous. It was really hard when I was working on what it was that I wanted to say. And it was really hard. So I'm excited and nervous and all of those things and looking forward to the episode. So make sure that you go to patreon.com/theworldgirls. $10 up tier. You get to watch the episode live or watch it on your own time in the video form. And if you cannot do that, then no worries. It will be edited down and put into a podcast form within a few weeks to a month or something like that. So I loved the Polly episode with Darina. The next one with Steph. I'm really interested to hear what she has to say as well. I can't spoil it, but really looking forward to it. And I would appreciate if you guys, would check it out. So yeah. All right, friends, I am going to get out of here. So thank you for all of your questions, your comments, your concerns. Thanks for being here. Thank you for your support. I appreciate that. Shout out to all the people in here. Jimmy Nails, Glenn Caesar, Minnie Gonzalez, John Bainbridge, Sir Joker, KB from SC, Andrew W, Twinkle Little Star, or just Twinkle Stars, 86, Cilu Bonino, Jarm King, Mohammed Belsin, Brittany Parker, to Michelle O'Rourke, Christian Hardesty, fuck the DMV, I agree, Gary Smith, John Bainbridge, Joshua Murr, John Eugene, to all of the people, Ryan Payne, Sam Red, Juan Mendez, DYDB3, Kathy Ann, Steve Cauldron. I appreciate all of you guys. So thank you for being here. Stay safe, stay sane. Lauren. Oh, I'm glad you're going to be watching, Lauren. Put down the toilet seat and live. We don't want those plumes. Don't trump with the Holocaust. I say it every single show. And yet, I guess if I'm going to be watching The View, maybe Whoopi needs to start watching this show. Still love you, Whoopi, but come on, man. Come on. Brett Miles, Jonathan, arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. All three of them for killing Breonna Taylor, not the shots that missed. I will see you guys for the podcast. And if not, I will see you tomorrow on Patreon for SEN, our first Patreon SEN. And later on, live at the Roxy here. All right, later.